What's up, guys? Hey, welcome to Quarantine Belly Fat. Hey, guys, what's up? Welcome to the Quarantine Belly Fat video series. Today's going to be the first training in a 5-part series where we talk about the specific type of fat that's responsible for making our bellies grow. I say our bellies grow because everybody seems to be dealing with being on quarantine and being not too far away from the refrigerator. So we're going to wait just a few seconds just to let people come on. Facebook kind of does its thing, and I want to make sure that people that have wanted to sign on are coming on. So I see some people coming on right now. So let's give it a little bit more before we get started. So we're going to be talking about that, this is a 5-part series again about the type of fat that's responsible for growing your belly during this quarantine, making your clothes feel super tight, and also maybe even making you not feel like your younger self. If you start having low energy and stuff like that, this type of fat is responsible for that. So we're just going to give it a couple more seconds here. I see some people coming on. By the way, for those of you that missed it, that's okay. This is going to be a replay. You'll be able to come back and look at this. If you're just joining us, this series is super, super important. It's changing lives. It's changed my lives, the principles that I'm going to be talking about in here. And it's currently changing a bunch of other people's lives that are part of the EzPhysique program. So that being said, guys, if you find value from this, please just go and tag somebody, share it with them, just to let them know that we're doing this. So without further ado, I am going to get started. So my name is Mike, and most of you know me. For those of you that don't, I have a company called EzPhysique, and EzPhysique was founded and created out of my own personal journey. Back in 2017, which seems like almost yesterday, but it's getting further away now, I had a heart attack. And I was severely overweight. I was obese and had a heart attack. And long story short, I made a bunch of lifestyle changes, dropped 60 pounds, 60 pounds, and got into the best shape of my life. And now our company specializes in helping people with that. So that being said, I want to get started. So again, this is the first part of a 5-part series in talking about quarantine belly fat and how to deal with that and the problems and all those kinds of things. So today we're going to talk about what is this type of fat? What is this quarantine belly fat? So what I want to tell you first of all is whether we're in a quarantine or not, this kind of fat is actually growing and causing problems with our bellies. So because it's quarantine and the refrigerator is just a few feet away, a lot of us have been gaining inches. I've heard people say they've gained a couple inches, 3 inches, 10 pounds, 15 pounds in about a month. So what that means is that, we're eating about 2-3 months worth of food in 1 month. But with that said, I want to talk about 2 types of fat. So the first type of fat that we want to know about is called subcutaneous fat. And what does that mean? Well, subcutaneous fat is actually fat that is found underneath your skin. It's exactly what it means. Subcutaneous means fat that's underneath your skin. And typically that kind of fat is fat that you can pinch. So if you were to reach on your side where maybe your love handles are or in the front and you pinch that kind of fat. Hey, Edie. Hey, Kenny. Thanks for joining us. Guys, if you're here, if you're on, I see there's a few people on, just say hi, maybe say where you're coming from, where you're watching from. That'd be super helpful. And thanks for that, Kenny. Yeah, long time no see, bro, and you're welcome. So here's the deal. So the first type of fat that we're talking about is subcutaneous fat. And that's the type of fat, if you remember when you were younger, if you were an athlete, I know Katie was an athlete, Kenny as well. You've got that fat around you when you start getting out of shape and you're putting on a little fat. That's what subcutaneous fat is, and and that's fat that shows up first. Now, the second type of fat is this is important that you know that because this is the dangerous type of fat. And this fat has been called visceral fat. It also has another name called active fat. And I really choose to I like using that word because it gives that type of fat really lets you know kind of what it's doing. It's active, it's just not there. So, what is this active fat? And what does it do? What's the difference between active or visceral fat and subcutaneous fat? So here it is. So the first thing you need to know about this type of fat is visceral fat or visceral fat or active fat is actually found inside of your body cavity. So where subcutaneous fat is underneath your skin, if you go underneath your abs, inside of your body where your organs are, right, where your intestine, your liver, your pancreas and all that is, inside of that, yeah, what's up, Carlo? Hey, Carlo, I got to give you one of these, brother. So Carlo's actually one of our members in the program. He's down 18 pounds, and the guy is just crushing it. And it's been a little bit over a month. So then he's saying this month he's down 18 pounds. So Fountain Valley, California, cool, yeah. So we're talking about this visceral fat or this active fat. And this fat, the reason why it's dangerous, number one, where's it found? It's found inside of your body cavity where your organs are. It's beneath your abs, beneath your abdominal muscles, and it's inside the cavity. And the thing is it's, if these are your abs, right? Say you're laying down, and these are your organs, and it's underneath, this visceral fat is found here. And what happens is over time it starts growing, and then it actually starts getting around your organs and surrounding them. And so a lot of people don't realize this. And so when you're looking at this type of fat, how do you know that you have it? Well, there's a few different ways that you can know that you have it. One of the ways is if you push your belly and it's really hard, like the subcutaneous fat tends to be a little softer, mushier, right? But if you have this type of visceral fat, the dangerous fat, you push in on your stomach, where your organs are. If that feels hard and it's not really bouncing back, that's one sign of that you've got some visceral fat. You hear people sometimes that have beer bellies and stuff like that and have this real hard belly. That is also visceral or active fat. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, because what happens over time as we get older, I'm 55, is as we get older and our waistline is increasing, there's a point at which that you can be pretty sure that that is visceral fat. And what I'm going to do is probably tomorrow, it's either tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to give you a real simple test to know if you've got visceral fat, the dangerous kind of fat. I keep saying visceral, but remember, visceral and active fat, they're the same thing. Subcutaneous is different. The visceral fat is found in and around around your organs, and over time it starts growing and growing, and then it starts causing some other problems. Now, what I want to talk about, now that you know this visceral fat, it's important to understand that what it's actually doing, right? So it's underneath your abs, surrounding your organs, and it's growing over time. And there's a couple of things that it does. So the second point that I want to talk about for you is what it does. And, visceral fat can wreak havoc on your hormones. And so a lot of people, women talk about hormones as they get premenopausal. Actually, and guys, I want to say this as well, that as we get older, there's things that go on with our hormones as well. And some things that you can associate with that, or several things that actually I went through when I was at that state. One of them is low energy. So if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm so tired all the time, what's going on? That could be one of the issues, one of the problems that visceral fat is causing. Okay, low energy, brain fog, anxiety, depression. All of those things come along with it. And these are, by the way, all the things that I experienced when I was going through, when I was obese and was carrying a lot more body weight and had a lot of visceral fat going on inside of my body. And so these are things that we're not aware of, like, man, why are my hormones out of whack? And part of it is if your waistline is growing and it's getting bigger, or it's beyond where it should be, could be that the visceral fat inside of it is causing some of those issues. Okay, so if this is making sense and you guys are catching this, if you guys can just say drop a 1 in the comments or like. Let me know if this is making sense for you guys. Let's see. Also, Marcus Clark, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. So guys, if this is making sense, if you understand that visceral fat is found in your body cavity surrounding your organs, say, just type something in like organs or something like that, just to let me know that you guys are tracking. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Katie. See that, Andrew? Thank you. What's up, June? Good to see you, Juan. Good to see you. Yeah, great point about hormonal imbalance for sure, Juan. So a lot of people don't realize this. You feel like, oh, maybe it's something else. Maybe I'm drinking too much coffee, maybe, or whatever. But a lot of times this visceral fat is causing this. And so this is really the main thing that I want to get across to you today is what visceral fat is, and the fact that there's 2 types of fat. There's subcutaneous fat, which, hey man, that's okay. That's like, hey, I've got a little baby belly, this kind of thing. But that visceral fat is something else. And one way that you can tell is if you ever see young people, like, in their, let's say 20s, early 20s, maybe mid 20s, and they're a little out of shape. They're still kind of thin, but you can see they've got fat. Like you might even have like a little baby muffin top, some fat in the front, but they're still kind of thin. And then as we get older, we can have that, like somebody my age can still have that type of fat, but their belly is bigger. It's just bigger with some fat on it. That's a sign of visceral fat, okay? Thanks for participating on that, guys. And I want to move on. So the second point, the first point is what visceral fat is. It's fat inside your body cavity that's surrounding your organs. And over time it grows. It's called also active fat. That's why I like to call it active fat, because it's actively trying to do some damage to us, to you, to me, to us if we have that. Second thing I wanted to talk about is the hormonal effect. I talked about that. And so if you're having some of these things, depression, anxiety, brain fog, low energy, can't sleep, just things are out of whack. Guys, this is everything that I experience. And for those of you that are joining, I think most of you guys on this so far know this, so when I was obese, had a heart attack, lost 60 pounds. When I was in that other state, when I was at 240, 230, guys, I was way out of whack. I mean, the way I felt was bad. I just was in a bad place, okay? So the second thing is hormones. The third thing that I want to talk about today is what I call the black hole effect. Now, what's the description of like a black hole? If some of you have been following kind of science, I'm kind of a science nerd on some things, which is crazy. I really am. I got to admit it. But a black hole is this thing, and they've actually taken pictures of it now. But this black hole is this thing that anything that gets close to it sucks it in as you get close to this thing called the event horizon, right? So it's kind of a magnetizing and attracting things from the universe. And once it gets too close, you can't get out, man. It's like, here we go. And it's almost like this swirling tornado or vortex, and it just sucks things in. And so the other thing I want to tell you about what visceral fat is what visceral fat is this fat that has effects on several different things, processes in your body. One of them is your heart, okay? I won't go into the details today because I want to save that for another day. But yeah, visceral fat can have a very significant effect on your heart. That's the first thing. The second thing is it can have a big effect on your liver. So you see these two things that are happening. And the third thing that people don't realize, it can have an effect on your blood pressure. Your blood pressure can get up. Now, think about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fat. Most people don't think about that. Most people think about diet and all these other things. Yes, that might have has some relationship to it. But once the fat is in there, the fat is doing its thing. And those three things on your heart, on your liver, on your blood pressure. And so because it has that effect on them, it also has this, what I call this tornado or black hole effect, that those three things together start swirling, and it's just this never ending thing. And this is where people, where their health gets so out of whack, it almost becomes impossible to turn it back. So catch what I'm saying, guys. If you guys understand what I'm saying about the black hole effect, just put hole, HOLE, in the comment. That'll let me know that you guys are actually catching this, okay? The black hole effect. Visceral fat surrounding your organs starts being really active and can have an effect on your heart, can have an effect on your liver, can have an effect on your blood pressure. And the longer this goes on, it starts becoming this swirling thing and starts pulling you down into this hole. Now, there's a way, and most people can get out of that, but the longer you go with visceral fat and the more effects that starts happening, you start getting closer and closer to the event horizon, right, of the black hole. And some people don't come out of that. They get in this place, and then something major happens, and heart attack and die, blood pressure, have a major stroke, all these kinds of things, liver. So these are the things that this visceral fat is serious, guys, very serious. Makes sense. Don't go by medical models. Da, da, da. Yep. Kenny, good stuff. Patria, yes, good stuff. Okay, good guys. You guys are tracking. Thank you. Patria, welcome to the call. By the way, Patria is a champion. That lady's a champion. I just want to acknowledge. I always like acknowledging people. So Patria's down, I think 50 pounds. Patria, peace, girl. You're rocking it. Carlo, we talked about Carlo. He's on the call. He's a EzPhysique member, also down 18 pounds in just a little bit over a month. So guys, I don't have much more to talk about today, but I just really wanted, without getting into all the things that we're going to talk about, really focus in on this visceral active fat for you, so that you guys know how serious this is. And it is this thing that's going on inside our bodies that, we're going about our daily thing, and we just don't really, it's not top of mind, but it's working. It's doing its bad stuff inside of your body and creating this black hole effect where it's slowly over time. So, when you're going through this, you might have some things, low energy, don't feel good, depressed, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're blaming it on some of the things that are going on in your life. I know that when I had severe, anxiety and depression, all this stuff, I thought it had to do mostly with the stuff that was going on in my life. And I also had stuff going on in my body that was causing these things, throwing my hormones out of whack, and then ultimately trying to take me out. So, yeah, good job. Awesome, Patria, awesome. So, guys, I want to wrap it up here and just talk about a couple things, what's coming up. So, today we talked about, now I know we're talking about quarantine fat, right? So I initially said, for those of you that came on a little bit late, quarantine fat is, it's the fat that we've been putting on, additional fat, that 1, 2, 3 inches since the quarantine happened, which has been a little bit over a month. However, fat is fat, and there's only two types. There's subcutaneous fat, and there's this dangerous visceral / active fat, okay? That fat is in our organs, and it's surrounding our organs, and it's not in our organs, but it surrounds it, and it grows over time. It's the fat that's hard fat, that's underneath your abs, inside your cavity, okay? So that's number one. What is visceral fat? Number two, what kind of effect is it having? Number two, with that, it has an effect where it could be low energy, it could be anxiety, brain fog, depression, all these things that maybe we're attributing to something else could actually be what's going on hormonally that's being caused by visceral fat, okay? That's the second thing. And then the third and final is this black hole effect that visceral fat has, and it can affect our heart, our liver, and our blood pressure. And I call it the black hole effect because all of those things together, it's this almost a silent thing that's kind of swirling around, and it's leading people that if you don't deal with it, it's pulling you into this black hole, and then you don't know it. Then all of a sudden, people have strokes, heart attacks, cancer, all these different types of things. Okay, so those are the three things that I wanted to talk about today. And I do have a couple of just housekeeping issues that I want to talk about. First one, we have another brother, an EzPhysique brother that's in a program. His name is Adolf. Some of you don't know that I've been doing kind of Adolf's journey. Adolf is in surgery right now today. He told me he's going to be, he asked for, inside of the group, he asked for us to pray for him. So for those of you that believe, pray for our brother, man, because he's in the battle for his life. And when he signed on with the program, that's one of the things that he said. So he had a broken foot. He had 2 casts, one on his right foot that was broken, one on his left foot that had surgery. He's got other health issues going on. He's got diabetes. And by the way, I'm sharing this because he wants me to share that so that maybe it helps one of you guys. Hey, Marilyn. And so he's going through some things right now. So right now he's going through another foot surgery. And when you have diabetes, there's some complications that can happen with healing and stuff like that. And then we complicate that with what's going on with coronavirus. So please, thank you, Carlo. Thank you. We'll talk about some things coming up. Now, tomorrow, what I want to talk about, you want to make sure that you show up for tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to talk about why it's so bad. I'm going to dive in deeper. We're going to talk about why visceral fat is so bad, and some of the things that it can be that can be happening. I've hinted to some of those things, but I'm going to go in a little bit deeper, talk about that. Okay, so make sure you show up tomorrow about the same time, 11 o'clock. We're right at 20 minutes. I plan on this being 10 minutes. So those of you who know me, they'll know that I can talk forever. So, but what I want to do right now, if you found this helpful, guys, type in helpful, HELPFUL. Type in helpful. Let me know that this was helpful for you. I appreciate that. The other thing, show up tomorrow. Tag some people, please, guys, that you feel this would be helpful. Now, just don't go out there just randomly tagging people and make them upset, but just tell them, hey, based on maybe a conversation that we had, or, I listened to this guy, I really like him, this is real helpful. Tag somebody, man, invite them, share this. Because honestly, guys, just so you know where I'm coming from, this is a mission for me. I don't play around with this. And for those people that are working with me, you guys know that. Very serious about that. I know what it's done for my life. I see what it's doing for our clients already that have had just amazing, amazing results that's affecting them, changing their lives, and also changing the lives of the people around them that are seeing them go through this, hey, thanks, Juan, I appreciate that. Thank you, Katie, appreciate that. Thank you, Marilyn, appreciate that. Yeah, because guys, this is serious. This is serious. Every day that you have another day to bless people or be a blessing. Kudos. That's a shout out to my boy Adolf, Big Sexy. So be praying for. Thank you, Marcus. Be praying for him. So with that, tomorrow, we're going to talk about why it's so dangerous. And that's all I have for today, guys. And another little sneak peek. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, I'm going to give you a way that you guys can check to see if you have visceral fat. Okay. So thank you, Marilyn, for that. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. You guys have an awesome day, and we'll show up tomorrow, same time. We'll talk about why visceral fat is so dangerous. All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate you. Peace. Stay easy.